We got to protect ourselves from the cold weather as we fly through. That's car number 8 from the newcomer Joaquin Cafaro from Uruguay. As there you see the standings of the championship. 330 to 262 from Pernilla to Cardoso. Piquet's in third on 234. That certainly means Pernilla has a big advantage. And he's looking really strong to clinch the title, possibly. Should nothing go wrong for him. Possibly one round ahead. Of the end of the season. Flying lap is, formation lap, is now under, and we'll have a look at the starting grid with Luis Ramirez on the lead in first place. Second is his teammates from PMO Racing, Gennaro Raceto. In third, it is Thiago Pernilla. Fourth place for Juan Angel Rosso from Paladini Racing on the Lincoln Co. In fourth, closing row 2. The reigning champion Pedro Cardoso is starting in fifth for PMO Racing, ahead of Rafael Reis in the best Cupra, the highest ranked Cupra in this grid from W2 Pro GP, followed by his teammates and 2022 champion Fabrizio Pezzini. Mariano Pernilla is in 8th place, starting for Honda YPF Racing. Leonel Pernilla in 9th for Honda YPF Racing. And in 10th place we have Nelson Piquet Jr., who scored pole position yesterday for second race in a row, for second event in a row. Joaquin Cafaro, the Uruguayan, is starting in 11th for PMO Racing. Enzo Gianfratti, who won TCR Trophy earlier for Port Hack Racing, in 12th. Adrian Chiriano in 13th for Honda YPF Racing. Marianne Kotter in her Toyota Corolla from Cobra Racing in 14th, and in last place Fabian Gianantuoni from his gearbox issues. Then it's that he was forced to cars are lining up on the grid. Pedro Cardoso is not on the grid, and that's big trouble for the reigning champion, who was trying to pursue the lead of the tournament. And we go racing in Mercedes. Clean starts in the front row with Luis Ramirez trying to get first place. Raceto challenges him and takes the lead. In the inside is Rafael Reyes trying to go through. Now it's Thiago Pernilla in second position. Raceto takes the lead and Ramirez is defending in second from Thiago Pernilla trying to recover. Yes, the Panamanian driver is in second place. Thiago Pernilla goes wide into the braking zone of turn number 3. In the inside is Juan Angel Rosso trying to catch third place. It's Thiago Pernilla now in third behind the two Peugeots. And Gennaro Raceto jumped into the lead of the race, beating Luis Ramirez for first in the early stages as they go through to turn number 4. And now breaking into turn number 5. Rafael Reyes and Fabrizio Pesini, the two Cupras, want to go farther up in the order. There is Raceto breaking into turn number 7 and then heading into turn number 8. Ramirez is holding up Juan Angel Rosso, who is in third place. Possibly PMO Racing asking Ramirez to defend as much as he can to allow the way for Raceto. We have 30 minutes ahead of us in race number 2. Raceto goes out into the main straight as he completes the first lap of the race. Pedro Cardoso could not start. Here is Gennaro Raceto taking turn number 1. Ramirez defending second place in turn number 2 as they head into the turn 3, which is the big first braking zone of the track. Rosso wants to overtake Ramirez. Ramirez is now into the twisty section. Raceto seems to be protecting the lead as much as he can. Ramirez goes just wide coming out, but he should have the best line for the next turn. Raceto is taking advantage of the fights under a slight contact between Rosso and Ramirez. And it's now Rosso in second place, heading to chase the lead of the race. Ramirez remains in third, and we know that Thiago Pernilla might be having a battle for third place with the Panamanian driver after that slight contact with Rosso. There are the cars and Ramirez pulling away in third. The battle is between Pernilla and Reyes. The two Cupras go past Thiago Pernilla. Here is the top 3. Heading out into the main straight. 2 laps completed. Raceto leading from Ramirez. And Rosso now in second. Ramirez in third. Reyes and Pesini are both ahead of Leonel Pernilla, who is already in 6th place after starting in 9th. Nelson Piquet Jr. is in 7th. Both Hondas will possibly try to go straight, but they have no teammates ahead that can play as a wingman for the two Hondas, as the rest are all behind Mariano Pernilla, Thiago and Mariano Pernilla, and also Adrian Chiriano. Enzo Gianfrati is in 10th, leading TCR Trophy ahead of Mariano Pernilla and Joaquin Cafaro. Good performance by Gianfrati. 26 minutes, and there was the battle between the Hondas and Fabian Gianantuoni. That's the battle between Gianfrati and I think might be one of the Peugeots. Here is the leader of the race, Gennaro Raceto, who took the lead in the start of the race and is now completing the third lap. And there is a drive-through for Raceto. What happened? Drive-through for the leader of the race. That's heartbreaking. Drive-through for jumping the starts of the race. Gennaro Raceto. That's really heartbreaking. Juan Angel Rosso will take the lead as soon as Raceto has to get 25 minutes. Raceto was looking really strong. And Luis Ramirez is now in third after Reis will go into second place. I think Pezzini is already up into third after overtaking Ramirez too. We'll see as they come across the finish line. Yes, Ramirez back in fifth. And there is Leonel Pernilla also battling. Incredible with the fishing rod. Leonel Pernilla is always there. And Juan Angel Rosso has clean track, and that's looking really strong for him. Raceto has completed the drive-through and will drop back to the bottom of the standings. A heartbreaking moment for him. Leonel Pernilla is collecting loads of points from this weekend. He's already up into fourth place behind the two Cupras. Here is the leader, Juan Angel Rosso, coming out of turn 9 and heading into turn 10 to complete the lap. 23 minutes remaining. Juan Angel Rosso chasing for another win. Let's see the replay. I must say that's really difficult to see. Looks really strange, I must say. I can't see the jumping start from Raceto in the replay. There's Juan Angel Rosso leading from the Cupras. Racing second, Pezzini in third. Leonel Pernilla. Leonel Pernilla is in fourth place, the standings leader, with Cardoso out of the race. These points collected are so valuable for him. Juan Angel Rosso leading as we've completed 8 minutes of the race. We're about to complete a third of the race as this is the standings leader, Pernilla. Gian Antonio is chasing him. Ramirez is in sixth place, followed by Thiago Pernilla, who is in seventh. Enzo Gianfratti up in eighth, leading TCR Trophy with a very solid performance from Port Hack Racing. "21 minutes. And now it is here is Gianfratti going through the inside. Oh, contact with Luis Ramirez, and there's another car. I think it's Thiago Pernilla that has gone through. That's a disaster in the middle of the pack. And there's Ramirez. I think we'll have a safety car now. The Panamanian is right there. I think Gianfratti was too optimistic. Thiago Pernilla was affected. Mariano Pernilla jumps up to sixth place. I wouldn't be surprised if we have a safety car here. That's a really bad news for Peugeot. PMO Racing was looking confident. But both Ramirez after this contact from Gianfrati and Raceto with that jumping start we couldn't perceive, to be honest. It's looking really, really bad for them as Rafael Reyes is getting closer to Juan Angel Rosso. There is Ramirez heading into the pits. He managed to make it to the pits. Gianfrati is in too. We have 12 cars on track as far as now, and this hands the lead of the race in TCR Trophy to Mariani and Kotter. The last lap was 119.3 for Juan Angel Rosso. Race clocked 118.5, so that was a big cut from second to first. We'll see if this remains throughout the race or Rosso can increase the pace and see if he can head into another win in TCR South America. Reyes is looking really strong in this inside section, trying to put the pressure on Juan Angel Rosso, but yet the Argentinian keeps the lead and so far out of trouble with the one in second with Rafael Reyes, who also has Fabrizio Pesini behind him, but a couple of seconds behind, a bit more than 2 seconds. 18 minutes, we are approaching the first half of the race completed. Juan Angel Rosso here, leading for Palladini Racing, team from Argentina. W2 Pro GP from Brazil is second and third with Rafael Reyes and Fabrizio Pesini. Farther down is the standings leader, Leonel Pernilla, who certainly can't follow the pace of the drivers ahead of him. We'll see now if he has clean track ahead and he can close the gap to Fabrizio Pesini. In fifth is Fabian Gianantoni, now 4 seconds clear almost from Mariano Pernilla. Joaquin Cafaro, the rookie from Uruguay, making his debut, is in 7th place ahead of Nelson Piquet Jr. and Diego Pernilla. Raceto, after the drive-through, is in 10th place. He would be really grateful if safety car came out, but after the contact between this man, Luis Ramirez, and Enzo Gianfrati, which we are going to see now once again. Now that I'm sorry, but I think Enzo Gianfrati was too optimistic, if you don't mind me to give an opinion. I think he was quite optimistic. There wasn't an easy move at all. And now we have a big battle coming up for the race lead as Rafael Reyes is getting closer and closer to Juan Angel Rosso. 0.3 of a second were cut in the last lap, and now it will be time to attack for Rafael Reyes, who has closed the gap in the last 2 laps. Let's see now that they cross the line and close lap number 10, 0.4 of a second only between first and second. And I'm sure Rosso might have 16 minutes ahead of a big headache with Rafael Reyes. Pesini comfortably sitting in third, 2 seconds clear from the series leader Leonel Pernilla, who clocked exactly the same lap time than Rafael Reyes in the last lap, 1:19.39 for both, 19.5 for Juan Angel Rosso, 19.1 for Fabrizio Pesini, the quickest one on track from the top 4. Rosso already making defensive moves, and Rafael Reyes wants to overtake the Lincoln Co. Cupra versus Lincoln Co. in Uruguay, in Mercedes, in race number 2 in TCR South America. We are live from Uruguay, and you're watching the best touring car racing in South America, one-on-one. Juan Angel Rosso and Rafael Reyes. The historic derby in football is now on track in motorsport between Argentina and Brazil. Rosso and Reyes battling, coming out of turn number 8, now into turn 9. Juan Angel Rosso protecting the lead from the 2 Cupras as Fabrizio Pesini is getting closer and closer, taking advantage of the pace that Juan Angel Rosso can have in this part of the race. 15 minutes, and now we have the move between Gianfrati and Luis Ramirez under investigation. Both cars are out of the race. We have 12 cars on track as Pedro Cardoso could not make it to the start of the race. Fabian Gianantoni, after the big trouble he suffered in qualifying yesterday that forced him to sit in last place in both grids today, is now up into 5th position as Rafael Reis is now battling, trying to get the lead from Juan Angel Rosso. Now the cars heading into turn number 4. A very, very tight battle for the lead of the race. A battle for the victory between the Lynk & Co. and the Cupra, car number 16 versus car 77. Fabrizio Pesini waiting for some kind of carnage between the two that can promote him to the lead. But still, it's a very tight battle as here they are in turn number 7. Juan Angel Rosso and Rafael Reis giving us big spectacle in Mercedes. Turn number 9 for the race leader. Look out, the last laps. The green mark is the time that Rafael Reis has taken away from Juan Angel Rosso in the last laps. And we'll see the lap difference, the lap times in this lap. Now that they are complete in 1:19.6 for both of them, 1:19.4 for Fabrizio Pesini, who is slowly getting closer and closer to Reis as well, trying not to force his teammate into any kind of trouble. But Rafael Reis is following closely Juan Angel Rosso, now trying to cool down a bit his car too. And we'll see if W2 Pro GP decides to swap positions to see if Pesini can chase Juan Angel Rosso. Otherwise, he'll have to hand back the position to Rafael Reis. As now coming towards us is the leader of the race, Juan Angel Rosso, on turn number 4. Rafael Reis battling and trying to catch the lead of the race. Fabrizio Pesini, you can see how closer he's got to his teammates in the last laps. Leonel Pernilla is up into 4th place, but he's having a quite under control situation from 5th place. Fabian Gianantuoni. Rosso is accelerating once again, and now Reis is getting closer and closer. Turn number 9 as they are about to complete lap number 13 with 12 minutes yet to be consumed from the clock and the last lap. Rosso comes out on track onto the main straights, completing one more lap. The Lynk & Co seems to have a fair speed on the straights as Reis could not get any closer. 0.4 of a second only, and now it's the same gap almost from Reis to Pesini. Pesini could get very close in the last laps, and I wonder, once again I say, if W2 Pro GP will try to swap positions and see if it's Pesini the one who can catch Juan Angel Rosso. Otherwise it will be Reis trying again and again until he finally can get Juan Angel Rosso caught. And let's see now what happened with Leonel Pernilla, who has been 0.3 of a second faster than Rosso in the last lap. This could turn into a 4-car line in a couple of laps as soon as they can survive and Pernilla catches them. Rosso locking up the brakes into turn number 7. We have 11 minutes and 43 seconds remaining. It's a very nice racing so far in Mercedes. Juan Angel Rosso leading the way for Palladini Racing, but still looking really tough as he has not one but 2 cars on him, chasing him for the win. So far, Rosso hasn't been under attack, but the picture is more than obvious. They are very much on him. Both Cupras. Rafael Reis heading into turn number 1, following Juan Angel Rosso, and this is the part in which both cars can lose a little bit of drag, and therefore that can help Rosso survive in the first position. But anyway, it's an unpredictable race that we'll have throughout these 10 minutes we have remaining in Mercedes. It's TCR South America. My name is Francisco Aura, and it's an honor to be with you for this very exciting and unpredictable race we're having in Uruguay. Event number 5 of the season. We are crossing the midpoint of this championship. It's a really entertaining race we are having, so we hope everybody enjoys it. 10 minutes and a half remaining. It's 30 minutes plus 1 lap on race number 2 with the reverse grid, but the 2 drivers that started on front row are completely out of combat, as Gennaro Raceto was leading the race until he was served a drive. He was forced to serve a drive-through penalty for jumping the start, something that we could not see exactly, to be honest, on the replays. And Luis Ramirez, after suffering contact from Enzo Gianfrati, had him knocked out. He came back on track, but he's 4 laps down. He's still running, lapping, quicker than some others on track. Maria Nienkotter holding on the pace from Adrián Chiriano on the TCR Trophy battle. Could be big news for Nienkotter if she manages to win the race in the TCR Trophy. She's 7 seconds clear from Adrián Chiriano. Both really favored by Enzo Gianfratti's retirement after the contact with Ramirez. Gianfratti's in the garage and Pedro Cardoso could not start the race, the series leader. Rafael Reis seems to have taken a breath and now wants to attack once again Juan Angel Rosso. There they are, heading into turn number 7. That fast right-hander was turn number 6, and this is turn number 7. They will take now the last 3 turns to the right. So this is turn number 8 with a tire pile that was hit by a car in race number 1. Leonel Pernilla, it's still 3.7 seconds. He couldn't get any closer despite the battle going on between Rosso and the Cupras. It's slowly crawling to 3rd place for Leonel Pernilla, who remains in 4th. Now completing lap number 16 is Juan Angel Rosso, 0.4 of a second. The gap has not been touched almost from the top 3. 1:20.2. The lap times are getting higher and higher. Leonel Pernilla was much quicker in this last lap. He's 3.2 seconds now. He was half a second faster than all the cars ahead of him. 8 minutes remaining on the clock. Juan Angel Rosso still trying to hold everybody. Reis was about to sell the dummy. Rosso now forced to move defensive moves. He's now under bigger pressure from the 2 Cupras. As now Rafael Reis has the napkin on the neck. This is turn number 6. For Rosso, holding the 2 Cupras behind, and this could give now a closer look for Leonel Pernilla. I feel that this might have been a slower lap from Juan Angel Rosso as the pace started to drop. Let's see when all the cars come together into the main straight, but visually Pernilla seems to be a bit closer to the top 3 as now they come to complete lap number 17. This is Rosso now crossing the line, and it's 1:19.9 for both of them. 1:19.7 for Leonel Pernilla, 3.0, about to get into the 3-second margin from the leaders. But Reis and Pesini could not attack anymore on Juan Angel Rosso as far as now. Rosso must be flawless throughout the rest of the race if he wants to win this. It's a very solid performance anyway from the Lincoln Co. of Palladini Racing. The 2 Cupras from W2 Pro GP solidly working in what seems to be a quite oiled up teamwork. Reis gets closer into the slowest zones. Rosso seems to be a bit quicker in the fast turns. It's in the inner section of the track where Reis gets closer and closer. In the meantime, Adrián Chiriano could not reduce the gap to Maria Nienkotter. It's 9 seconds between the two. That's the TCR Trophy lead. I think we have 2 drivers on the podium only as Gianfratti has retired. Here is Juan Angel Rosso coming towards us. The Lincoln Co. giving everything on track as we reach the last 6 minutes of the race. 1:20.3. And now it's 0.6 of a second only. The gaps are tighter and tighter now. Reis runs a little bit wide. Oh, and he has to defend from Pesini. That was a big momentum, big moments in the race. Fabrizio Pesini wants to attack his teammates, and this is a big relief for Juan Angel Rosso, and certainly looking really interesting for Leonel Pernilla, who is in 4th place. And this could be now a big relief for Rosso. Look how much he can pull away now from the 2 Cupras. But certainly if the pace is higher in the Cupras, he will be under pressure sooner than later, as now this is looking like a 4-car line. Look at Leonel Pernilla getting getting closer and closer, to the top 3. The next time they come together into the main straight, I'm sure the differences, the gaps will be much, much shorter, as Pedro Cardoso tried to go out on track, but he came back into the pit. He completed 4 laps. Of course, he's completely out of any trouble. There is Juan Angel Rosso. Reis, Pesini, and Lionel Pernilla, 2.4 seconds. And this is a big relief. Look at this. Reis has lost the gap he had to Rosso. He had built to Juan Angel Rosso, both lapping over 120.2 and 120.5 for Reis and Pesini respectively. Pernilla did 119.8 and 119.8 also for Rosso. The quickest driver on track in the last lap was Fabian Gianantuoni in 5th, 119.7 for car number 5, who is sitting in 5th place, but 7 seconds almost from the lead. Lionel Pernilla has reduced the gap to 1 second to Fabrizio Pesini. This is certainly now thrilling moments in the race. Last 3 minutes, and this is looking a bit more calm for Juan Angel Rosso as the cars split up a bit after that little mistake where Reis was a bit wide after turn 2 and had to prevent Fabrizio Pesini from overtaking him. It's 0.7 of a second of gap, and Pernilla is now attacking a bit more on Pesini as this is looking really, really tight. I wonder what could have done Gennaro Rassetto if he had stayed on track after being punished for that drive-through penalty, which I must insist it didn't look like so on track. He was punished for jumping the starts, and it didn't look that way. But of course, I'm a commentator, I'm not a steward. 2 minutes and a half remaining in the clock. Juan Angel Rosso leading, and Rafael Reis getting closer again. I wonder if Reis will stick or try one more time. 0.5 of a second, half a second now is the gap from Rosso to Reis, and Pernilla is closer to Pesini than Reis to Rosso in these moments. I wonder if Pernilla will try to get one more place. Anyway, 4th place for him with Cardoso out is a massive, massive business. Massive profits for the championship, but still I'm sure he will try to do something else.
Fly with caution.
There is the last
Fly with
chances.
caution.
There is Juan Angel Rosso holding up into the lead, going through turn number 6. And now turns number 9 and 10 for him. This will be the second last lap of the race. There is Juan Angel Rosso coming out onto the main straights. Will complete one more lap. And this will be the last 2 laps of the race. 120.4, as we said. The lap times are higher and higher. Third they are Rafael Reis. Now dropping a few meters. Fabrizio Pesini looking more confident, and Now the clock is ticking down to 0. This is once again what happened with Rafael Reis hitting the board. And this could be trouble for him. We have 1 lap remaining. And this might be disaster for Rafael Reis if his tires suffered anything. Fabrizio Pesini remains there. There is Juan Angel Rosso about to open the last lap of the race. Rafael Reis with some kind of trouble possibly in his car after what he suffered. Running wide twice in that turn. There is the last lap for Juan Angel Rosso. He had to suffer a lot holding back the 2 Cupras. Rafael Reis gave everything he had, but he seems to be set to stick to second position. Fabrizio Pesini will get another podium, getting his revenge after what he suffered in Termas de Rio Hondo. Leonel Pernilla doing a massive profit for his quest for the title. Juan Angel Rosso about to take turn number 4 and 5 in Mercedes. The race is about to end. It's the final lap. There is Rosso now breaking into turn number 7. Turning to the left for the last time in the weekend. This is now turn 8 for the Argentinian, who is about to get the win. He has 2 turns remaining. Rafael Reis and Pesini will complete the podium for W2 Pro GP. And here is Juan Angel Rosso coming out onto the main straight to take the checker flag. And he wins in Uruguay. He wins in Mercedes. Relief for Paladini Racing. And Juan Angel Rosso takes the victory in Uruguay. Celebration is unleashed in the garage. 2-3 for W2 Pro GP, and a massive result for Leonel Pernilla ahead of Fabian Gianantuoni, who managed to pull away from the bottom of the grid. Mariano Pernilla is in 6th, and it's a win for Juan Angel Rosso. Both Reis and Pesini complimenting the winner. We've had a thrilling race here in Mercedes. We had a massive race. Nelson Piquet Jr. here, who arrived in 10th place, and it was a win for Mariani and Cotter in TCR Trophy also. Chiriano's pace dropped in the last laps, and it's the second win of the season for Nian Cotter. She took a win in the first weekend in Rosario in Argentina. Will take a trip to El Pinar for the next round. This is the final results. Juan Angel Rosso, Rafael Reis, Fabrizio Pesini on the podium, Leonel Pernilla, Fabian Gianantuoni, Mariano Pernilla in 6th, Joaquin Cafaro 7th in his debut ahead of Thiago Pernilla, Raceto, and Nelson Piquet Jr., who closed the top 10. Mariani and Cotter winning TCR Trophy in 11th ahead of Adrian Chiriano. Ramirez ended 3 laps behind retirement for Gianfrati, and Cardoso could not start the race. There is Fabrizio Pesini. Celebration unleashed for Juan Ángel Rosso, releasing all the joy and the tension after a very tight race. Celebrating with his team.
Especial para el equipo de Beide Rennen, sus mecánicos, porque no solo llevaron la victoria al Colo Rosso, sino que también han permitido que con ese trabajo artesanal de hacer una pieza que le permitiera a San Antonio poder correr esta carrera, no solo que la pudo correr, sino que avanzar 10 lugares. Ha terminado quinto el patito San Antonio.
Juan Ángel Rosso shaking hands with TCR South America's President Federico Punteri, Fabrizio Pesini, celebrating. If in doubt, flat out, the phrase that was popularized by Colin McRae, the legendary rally driver.
Bien, muchas gracias y vamos a empezar a dialogar con Rafa Reis, que
ya
llegó a esta zona de premiación. Rafa, una carrera interesante, luchaste con el Colo Rosso hasta el final, intentaste incluso hasta la última vuelta donde cometés un exceso. Contame cómo la viste de adentro. Felicitaciones de parte también de Pesini.
Sim, uma corrida boa, a gente estava muito rápido. Tomei 2 toques nas primeiras voltas, que meu carro já desalinhou totalmente. Mas mesmo assim, a gente tinha um ritmo muito bom. Infelizmente, a gente perdeu muita pressão aerodinâmica na curva 1 e na 0, quando eu me aproximava dele.
Not balanced after some contacts.
Bom, era complicado, a gente tinha um carro melhor, estava mais rápido, mas passar aqui estava complicado, porque a gente chegava na parte travada, na 0 eu não conseguia, e na 1 também. Então eu tentava deixar um espaço para conseguir fazer as curvas e ter uma oportunidade.
I tried to leave some gap in the first turns
se defendeu muito bem,
to turn properly, but
e é isso, muito feliz com o resultado. A gente tá
it got
voltando a
tighter.
no campeonato.
It's a difficult track to overtake, and I'm still happy for the results.
Gracias, Rafa.
Gracias.
Bien, ahí estaba Rafa Reis, que termina en el segundo lugar. Vamos con Fabricio Pesini, otro podio este fin de semana, disfrutando con la familia. Fabri, felicitaciones, gran trabajo.
Sí, la verdad que sí, muy buen trabajo del equipo. Veníamos,
the team did a
creo
great
que
work.
los dos veníamos más rápido que el Colo, pero bueno, el Colo se
I
defendió.
think both Rafael and I were
bien.
quicker
Yo
than
avisé por
Rosso.
radio al equipo que yo no lo iba a molestar a Rafa, que él tratara de buscar la victoria para el equipo y después yo iba a tratar de
I
pasar
told the
al
team
Colo,
to let
pero
Rafa
no tuvo
run,
chances. Donde las
but
pocas
he had no
chances que
chance.
tuvo, creo que el Colo se defendió muy bien, no cometió errores.
The
Y
few
después se
chances he
venía
had
Leo
were
de
well
atrás.
defended.
Yo sabía que Leo por ahí nos iba a meter en el juego de la pelea porque no le conviene por sus puntos, así que creo que teníamos
We knew Pernia
el podio
wasn't
asegurado y una lástima que
looking
no
like
pudimos
attacking too
lograr la
much, 'cause
victoria
he
para el equipo, pero
is racing for the
felicitaciones al
championship.
Colo y a todo su equipo porque se defendió muy bien.
Fabri, gracias, a festejar.
Gracias, hasta luego.
Bien, ahí estaba la palabra de Fabricio Pesini y va a venir el Colo Rosso, ganador de esta segunda competencia del TCR South
We'll hear
America.
from the winner,
Colo,
from Juan Ángel
felicitaciones,
Rosso.
gran tarea defendiéndote. Fue dura, ¿no? Felicitaciones.
Puedo decir que me defendí. Y mira, la largada fue buena.
The start was really good.
Metido atrás de Thiago con fe de que él iba a poder tirarse bien por fuera y se ve que agarra sucio y hace lento.
I stayed behind Thiago Pernia, but I think he got a bit of a dirt.
La carrera quedó solo cuando lo penalizan a Genaro. Y
When Raceto was penalized,
cuando me dijeron que quedó Reis atrás tuyo, sabía que era cuestión de tiempo.
I was on my own, and when I was told that the race was behind me, I knew it was going to be hard.
Pero era más para la apuesta a la larga carrera que a ir rápido.
But my setup was
Y,
thinking in the
me
longer.
sirvió porque iba más cómodo. En la primera me costaba mucho doblar y ahora no. Pero no era rápido.
I felt
como
really,
que le saqué
really
una
comfortable,
cosa
but it
y
wasn't so
le
quick.
di otra. Pero bueno, contento, muy feliz, muy agradecido a todos los chicos, a todos los mecánicos que también el auto de Fabián largó y terminó. Después de
I'm really grateful to all the team. They put together Fabian's car too, and he did a great race.
No parecía así después de la primera carrera. Pero bueno, estoy muy feliz, muy contento, muy agradecido a todo
The weekend didn't look so well
Disfrutalo y a
earlier,
festejar
but
con el equipo.
it turned out very well.
Bien, ahí estaba la palabra de ganador. ¿Cómo es la serie?
Para mis cuñados, para mi cuñado, para mis hijas.
Ahí está la palabra de ganador, Colo.
Doing the gestures for his daughter.
Bien amigos, y luego de haber vivido lo que fue esta segunda
and
carrera
we
del
will
TCR
get
South America aquí en Mercedes,
into
pasar al podio a todos los integrantes de la clasificación general y de la Copa Trophy. Va subiendo María Nienkotter, fuerte aplauso para la pilota de
first of
Brasil,
all is TCR
que se
Trophy.
llevó la victoria en la Copa
Maria
Trophy.
Nienkotter, winner
Un
of
gran
TCR
trabajo
Trophy.
aquí en el circuito de Mercedes. Y ahora sí, es momento de ir con los integrantes del podio de la clasificación general. Fabricio Pesini, que termina en el tercer puesto.
Fabricio Pesini, who finished in third with his children.
Al podio va Rafa Reis, el brasileño que hizo una gran carrera con el W2 Pro GP. Y ahora sí, Juan Ángel Rosso, ganador de esta segunda carrera. Fuerte aplauso para todos ellos.
And Juan Ángel Rosso, the winner after Rafael Reis climbed onto second place too.
Va a entregar el premio al primer puesto de la Copa Trophy a María Nienkotter, Alejandro Bufa, director del Autódromo de Mercedes.
Alejandro Bufa, the director of the circuits, handing the trophy to Maria Nienkotter.
Con la entrega del tercer puesto, Fabricio Pesini, entrega Julio Maglione, presidente de AUO, para quien ha logrado el tercer lugar de esta competencia. Gran trabajo. Y ahora va a entregar también al segundo, a Rafa Reis.
Julio Maglione, president of the Uruguayan Racing Association, handing the trophy to the top three and also the winning team.
Que ha logrado esta gran victoria aquí en Mercedes. Ahora sí, chicos, vamos con la foto para todos, para que quede bien ahí el recuerdo. La foto para todos ustedes. Y escuchamos las estrofas del himno nacional argentino por la victoria.
And now it's time for the Argentinian anthem for the winner.
Fuerte el aplauso después de escuchar el himno nacional argentino por la victoria de Juan Ángel Rosso y el Paladini Racing. Se van preparando los champán. Atención, atención, se viene el festejo para los integrantes del podio de la general y de la Copa Trophy. Ahora sí, el champán.
And now it's time to celebrate after the anthem. Rosso, Reis, Pesini, and TCR Trophy winner Maria Nienkotter. Born in a family of racing drivers, her uncle Leonardo Nienkotter raced a long time in the South American Formula 3 in its brighter years in the 1990s. Lionel Pernilla is given the Driver of the Weekend award. Alongside TCR Argentina and Uruguay promoter Mr. Felipe Magov. And we are wrapping up our broadcast of this week. And ladies and gentlemen, we are really grateful for having your company. One more event in TCR South America. We'll take the second and last stop in Uruguay in a month in El Pinar, and then we'll fly to Brazil for the last 4 rounds of the season. We thank you very much for your company around the world. My name is Francisco Aure. Once again, thank you for being with us, and see you next time.